to answer all your questions, and the young professionals from Tecnatom will also give you some hints on the job opportunities at Tecnatom. Just to let you know that this webinar is recorded, so I will be happy to also to take up the questions in written or in the oral mode. Thank you very much for listening to us. Rafa, the floor is yours, please.
Thanks, Emilia, for the introduction. As Emilia told you, I am Rafa Cubero, head of people here in Tecnatom. And also with us from Tecnatom are three of my colleagues, Irene, Antonio, and Paco. The presentation that we are going to show you has three parts. The first part, there is an introduction of what we do, our business. Okay. Then I will tell you about what we are looking for in Tecnatom, in our people, our talent, and what we can offer to our talent. Next, I will tell you about our model of professional development, some things that I think are very interesting about how people can develop their professional profiles inside that. Finally, my colleagues, Paco, Antonio, and Irene will tell you about their own careers. In my opinion, this is the most interesting part, okay, of the presentation. So let me start with the first part about Tecnatom. I'm going to share a presentation with you. Okay. So here. So I'm going to start with the first part. This is Tecnatom. We are Tecnatom. Tecnatom was founded more than 60 years ago as the first Spanish engineering company providing inspections and training tests, okay, in the nuclear sector. Throughout these 6 decades, we have accumulated the necessary experience to grow and evolve towards other industrial sectors at common characteristics, sectors with advanced technologies and high quality and safe standards. The diversification, both in industry and in services, supported by permanent innovation, has allowed Tecnatom to expand its activity to other markets and to have presence in different countries in America, Asia, and Europe. We have consolidated our position as an international engineering services and consultancy group, supporting our customers in their operation in many industries across a wide range of sectors, helping them to become more efficient and safer. Okay. Where are we? It's precisely this closeness to our customers, which we consider essential, that has led us to our international expansion to have a presence in continuous physical presence in 10 countries. These countries that you can see. We are an engineering company with an extensive operating experience. We know and understand that the entire industrial life cycle, and therefore we are able to support our clients by developing comprehensive solutions that promote the safety and efficiency of the company. I think this is one of the most important slides because it's an explanation about our projects. We want to accompany our customers, okay, and we want to do so in all the key aspects of their operation because we can help them improve the management of their people, assets, and process. These two parts, okay. People, we create solutions that strengthen people's capability and enhance our customers' competitiveness. And we achieve this by using digital transformation as a tool for learning and transferring expert knowledge, and also by guaranteeing operation experience to promote safe conduct and implement continuous improvement process. Assets, one. We can also help our clients manage their critical assets, achieving higher levels of security, efficiency, and therefore competitiveness. We do this by guaranteeing their reliability through inspection, test, and diagnostics, and also optimizing maintenance and assets management in the long term with a state-of-the-art technological solutions. And for last, process. In addition, using our most advanced technologies, we support our customers to optimize the process and drive the digital transformation of the operation. Okay, and we achieve this improving cycle efficiency with monitoring and diagnostic systems and optimizing operation through advanced simulation solutions. And for last, increasing safety through human factor engineering and the design of operation support systems. We have a mission, we have a very clear vision to achieve a secure and sustainable world through our knowledge and technology. Okay, and we carry out this vision through our mission to ensure the safe and efficient and excellent operation of our powered and industrial plants. Our values, we make this purpose relative on 5 fundamental pillars. Okay, 5 values that make up our DNA. These values are the 5 that you can see here in the slide. People, the first one, we believe in the value of people as activator of change, both Tecnatom employees and customers. Our internal talent is one of our most important assets. It's what allows us to grow, innovate, and advance as a company. Okay. Customers, at Tecnatom, we have a fine commitment to our clients, focused on the quality of our actions to guarantee the safety and efficiency of the industries in which we operate. Innovation and adaptation. Without innovation and adaptation, we could have go to where we are. At Tecnatom, we focus on developing and applying the most advanced technologies and tools for value creation, and adapting them to specific needs to our clients. Safety culture. Furthermore, at Tecnatom, we have an absolute commitment to safety and beacon for all the actions and a guide for decision making. Okay, and the last slide about the company. Today, we support industries around all the world in management of the people, assets, and these 3 parts. And we do so in many sectors as heterogeneous and diverse as electricity, production, and the oil sector or the aerospace sector, which demonstrates our capacity for innovation, adaptation, and diversification. I think I finish here. Yes. That concludes the presentation of the company. Okay, and I think I'm going to this part is a little bit more interesting about talent. Okay, and then I'm going to speak with you about what we search in our talent. Okay? In Tecnatom, we are continuously searching new talent. For example, during this year, 2021, I think we have incorporated around 20 new professionals in all the group. Okay, we search both. We are looking for both professional, junior professional and senior professional. Okay, but all of them, most of them are professional with technical degrees. Okay, the STEM profiles. You know, STEM profiles are mathematics, technical, scientific, engineering profiles. Okay. Nevertheless, there are a series of characteristics that we look for in all the profiles that we operate in Tecnatom, and these competencies are the one that you can see here in presentation, okay, in the slide. Commitment and integrity. Integrity is the basis of our management. For the reason, anyone who wants to work with us must share this value. Interest in challenges, because the world sends us new challenges every day. For the reason, we need professionals who are interested in facing new challenges that come along. Okay. Flexibility, because companies that survive in the new world must adapt to the constant changes. Therefore, the people who form part of these companies need to be flexible and versatile. Interest in working with people. Our main assets is our people. such as we must take care of them. We believe that in the most cases, teamwork gives better result than individual work. So those who want to work with us must show interest in working in a team. And for last question in attitude, a question in attitude is a key, continuous improvement in the company. We are looking for people that don't accept the status quo without constructive criticism. Whether we can make Tecnatom a great place to work every day. Okay? And we can offer what we can offer. Okay, we are a company that are reinventing continuously, so you will you have the possibility to look for part of the company which is involving and reinventing itself. This involves new challenges, new paths to discover, new capacities to develop, new projects to make. Okay. The other missing in Tecnatom, you may start on a project, however, you could develop towards other projects depending on your preference and business needs. We carry out campaigns to inform about the opportunities to work in different areas. We'll speak more about it in another slide. We care for people. We place the people at the center of the business. We ensure work-life balance whenever our business needs. Our business needs allow us. We try to ensure work-life balance for our customers. Very important for us. And commitment to sustainability, because most of our business is developing energies with zero CO2. Okay. I would like to show you some of our social benefits to work here in Tecnatom with us. Includes the possibility to work from home. A large part of working hours can be done from home. Sorry. Health insurance, free health insurance for all the employees, and also subsidies for the employees. Also, we have a flexible timetable, and even have a reduced timetable during 4 months, working for 6.5 hours every day, finishing around 2 o'clock because it's flexible during summertime and Christmas. Okay, 3.5 months in summer and 15 days in Christmas. Free training. Also, in Tecnatom, we have a program that allows, this is the Erasmus Tecnatom, that allows all employees to travel to different countries where we have subsidiaries and to work from there in order to meet new people, new teams, to know new countries, to know our colleagues in other countries. Okay, and for last the possibility to buy holidays. Once you have used up all your holidays, you have the possibility to buy more holiday time. To finish, I would like to speak about, to talk to you about how can you develop your professional career in Tecnatom. I think this is very interesting. This is our professional development, okay, which is published in our internet called Chaos. Okay, here we can find 2 possible lines to develop. One is the technical, another is referring to the project manager. At Tecnatom, we have a mission. Okay, our mission is to provide opportunity for professional development to all our workforce. This transparent and public model based on the company, providing the professional with all the necessary tools for him or her to take care of their own development. Our objective is for each person to grow professionally within the role that they believe is the most suitable for their professional profile. To do this, we have different processes and tools, such as the performance evaluation, basis of values of the company, or potential assessments. To find the best match between people and roles is essential to reinforce the internal mobility. So in Tecnatom, we publish all the internal vacancies that arise in the company. We publish permanent position and temporary roles to manage more projects. An example of these temporary roles are the campaigns that we make to combine your usual role with the performance of another role in a different business area during a short time. This way, the professional can reach his or her professional profile. We do this through a platform called Cubero, where anybody, inside Chaos, where anybody in the company can see all the vacancies, temporary and permanent, both, that we need to cover in any area of the business. We also have a tool for digital and collaborative training, PeopleSoul, which includes many training resources from official courses, talks, videos of our our best professionals to transfer the knowledge for the senior profiles to the junior levels. Okay, in both lines, technical and project manager, you can grow by developing your own capacity. If you develop your capacities, you will pass to the next step. So it depends on you, how far you develop to. Once you reach a certain level of expertise, the development will depend also on the opportunities. In summary, at Tecnatom, we will do it. We will do everything possible to help you to develop. We will make it easy, but we give you the reason, the resources, but the rest is up to you. Okay. And then I'm going to give the word to my colleague. It's more interesting. Irene, if you want, can ask for, in your case, how is your development?
Thank you, Rafa, very much for presenting Tecnatom. It looks really interesting and tempting, I can say. Now we have Irene, your colleague, Irene Ramírez, who is Senior Operations Engineer. And I understand that, Irene, you just recently also changed the position, or you're in the transferring to another position. Tell us a few words about you. Thank you very much.
You are mute, Irene.
Sorry, I was mute, yeah. I will explain you in a sec, Emilia. Well, first of all, I'm thankful to be here. I'm going to explain you my background, and I want to start with my studies a little bit to situate it a little bit. So, well, I studied chemical engineer, and I specialize in processes and also in hygiene and safety. As you can see, I didn't study nothing related to nuclear work. Despite this, I joined Tecnatom, who are looking for superior graduates to be part of their teams, as Rafael has said. And it's been 12 years since I joined the company. And I spent a few months training on nuclear power plants and specializing in pressure water reactors, nuclear physics, and radiological protection. After a year of training, more or less, I started at a SCO nuclear power plant in Spain, next to Beats. And there's been working for 10 years on nuclear safety issues. As operative experience analyst, for instance, analysis of significant or not significant plant events, as well as a support for the continuous improvement plant. And in this period was very important for me because I was a kind of a CSI investigator without murders, of course, and I have to interview lots of people in order to identify what happened and how to develop plans to prevent it from happening again. And in these periods was very enriching, given that I had the opportunity to work and learn with many professionals from different fields, such as mechanics, electricals, chemical, radiological protection, and from which I learned a lot. I have also gave me the opportunity to participate in national projects and work with other teams and the other nuclear power plants as Trio and Marad. And after the years working there, I thought it was time to change. I need new challenges, new goals, and above all, new experiences where I could continue to learn and grow as a professional, as a person. So I saw the opportunities when the company published internal vacancies in Cairo's platform, as Rafa said before, related to a position that was located in Madrid, but with trips to France. I love to speak French, so I ran as a candidate. And after being elected, the company helped me make the change from the seaside to Madrid. Already as an operators engineer, I work on projects such as the modernization of EDF's nuclear power park in France, in which I was involved in design modifications, which is allowed me to expand my knowledge in nuclear plants and practice other languages as French, of course. And I visit very lovely places too. What else? I have also been part in the project of modernization on the control room of Vandellós nuclear power plant in Spain too, applying my knowledge of operations and also in maintenance of the Vandellós control room simulator. And at the end, and the support of the project SMR in X-energy projects. And how, as Emilia has said, currently and for a month, I have been in addition to these works to perform senior operation engineer functions. I am working as a commercial manager in Tecos packets, in which I dedicate myself to promotion, commercial technical support, and proposal for the business area of plant operation and asset management. Well, as you can see, in my case, I have been able to develop professionally, occupying various positions and functions that have helped me to develop my enrich myself. So this is my presentation and my background. If you have some questions, we will see later.
Very much, Irene. Yes, I would like to encourage all of the participants. We have 35 followers today. To put some questions in the Q&A that's maybe just pointing that you would like to speak as well, because this is also an option. So just write shortly, yes, I would like to put the question, and I will unmute you after the two further panelists. So now I would like to invite Antonio Cruzado, who is Digital Training Center Manager at Tecnatom. Antonio, could you tell us your story, please?
Okay. Hi, everybody. For me, it's a pleasure to be here, sharing the experience and the years that I've been working for Tecnatom. I joined Tecnatom in 2011, so it's almost 10 years. And by the time I was applying for the job is when the Fukushima Daiichi accident happened. So I started to think that probably it could jeopardize my chances to get the job, but it wasn't that. Tecnatom had a great plan and a very good opportunity for me, and at that time that involved instructor training work. So I was certified for the AP 1000 certification for a business instructor, and I was able to deliver training. So when I joined the company, I had very minimum knowledge about nuclear. I came from the Spanish university. I got a master's degree on engineering, industrial engineering, but the nuclear field was not very deep in when I was at school. So when I joined the company, I had very limited knowledge about that. However, Tecnatom had a very strong learning process academy inside. So it took me more than 2 years to get the full certification, but everything was in house. So I got the appropriate training, starting from the fundamentals, then systems, procedures. And when I finished the training in Spain, I was deployed to China for a very short systems training. So I spent a few months in China, and then when I came back, I got my full qualification for the AP 1000 for Westinghouse. So for doing that, I had to go to the US headquarters for Westinghouse, and I went through a whole simulator training. So in order to become operations instructor, you have to fulfill the systems and procedures ready training, but also the simulator training. And at that time, the AP 1000 simulator was in the headquarters in Cranberry, Pennsylvania. So I spent there a few more months. When I got my full qualification, then I was deployed again to China. In China at that time, it was 2012, 2013 is when the first AP 1000 constructions were undergoing. So we went there to train the very first crews of operators. It was amazing because I was working with a very experienced instructors for Westinghouse, and of course for Tecnatom, right? We were a very great team there. I spent 4 months, and after that training, I came back to Spain again. But I didn't unpack my luggage. At the time I stepped in Spain, I was deployed again to US. And at that time, it was by the end of 2013, I went to the US for the simulator, AP1000 simulator testing and validation. So I spent a whole year again in the Cranberry headquarters, working in the simulator. And after that, when that finished, about 2014, I came back to Spain. All of this time, the good thing is that I moved with my wife, so it was great to see how I could fit everything together, right? Because I couldn't, I didn't want to go just by my own, and at any time, Tecnatom put anything against that. So it was fully supported by Tecnatom in that terms. So I was free to move and to go back and forth, doing all the arrangements, always with the help of Tecnatom. I think it's something that is important to emphasize. So finally, when I came back, my older daughter was born in Spain, and when she was 6 months or 9 months, I again packed everything and moved back to the US. At that time, I was deployed to VG Summer. That was one of the AP1000 constructions in the US field, and I spent there a year and a half training the operators, and that work finished when the construction was canceled. It was a disaster because they decided to cancel everything, and the day they canceled the construction at VC Summer, I was there, and I was surrounded with people that were losing their jobs. It wasn't my case because I was as a constructor from Tecnatom, but many people around me were losing their jobs. It was hard to see that, but again, it's experiences that you live when you are working in these fields. Good thing, I still keep my job. So I came back here in Spain, and since then, by the end of 2017, I was finally settled in Spain. That finished my international experience working abroad, slightly, because after that I've been working. I also was involved on a training in the UAE, so I went for a few weeks. I was still doing this kind of international jobs, but not that long-term period. I decided to get settled finally. My daughter at that time was 3 years old. So I spoke to the company and I said, okay, I'm still open to travel if needed, but I don't want to move everything back and forth as I've been doing so far. Again, Tecnatom supported me on that, of course. And since then, I started to work very closely into new technologies implementation for training, not for delivering training, but to designing the new methods of providing training and platforms. And that became a very good opportunity in field. We are in a moment that everything is changing, so we need to adapt to new technologies, and of course, the nuclear training needs to adapt to that too. So we are involved in very relevant projects, international projects. So I started to be, so I turned from the instructor profile to project management. So since then, I'm managing the projects, and by the end of last year, I was promoted in Tecnatom. So I'm currently I'm the manager for the digital training center that basically manages all the projects related to these new technologies for the training. And that's my short, long story.
Thank you very much, Antonio. It's great to see how Tecnatom allows its employees to travel around to learn new things. And myself, I discovered was when Tecnatom joined us as a corporate member to ENS recently, to see that it's active in over 60 countries on 3 continents. So it's really a great opportunity for employees to discover new things, to learn new things in different countries, use different languages, and polish its skills. So fantastic! Thank you very much. So one of the examples that is now seconded to another country, it's Paco Suarez, and nuclear power plant operations instructor, and currently seconded to European Nuclear Education Network, ENEN, which is also the network of this ENEN Plus project. So, Paco, could you please tell your story to our attendees?
Hello, Emilia. Thank you very much, firstly, for having us here today. It's a pleasure to be here with you and the rest of the colleagues. And yeah, basically, I'll tell you my life, but condensed in let's see if I can do it in 5 minutes, to also welcome and encourage the questions of our viewers, and we'll be more than happy to chat about. So Rafa, if you can pass the slide, I'd appreciate that, please. Thank you. Okay, so I'm very grateful to have had the opportunity since I started my professional career to do kind of a zigzag and have the chance to work in a variety of areas and projects until I converged to nuclear. There was an inflection point where I fell in love with the field, and that is what led me to Tecnatom. But I'm an industrial engineer by training. I did that in Madrid, and actually the first internship I ever did was in the vehicle industry in Daimler, in Mercedes-Benz in Stuttgart. I was in the multi-body simulation team that summer, and that was really nice. Very first touch with the simulation world, and a great experience. After that, I was hired by the Research Institute of my university to do the thesis there, and there I switched to the electric systems world, where I was analyzing the perturbations that diesel generation has in systems that are in islands, which is something that is usually the case in such kind of smaller grids, and that gave me the opportunity to learn a lot of how the grid works, and what are the challenges to keep the lights on, let's say, with the grid working nicely. And after that, when I finished my master's in industrial engineering, I went into consultancy. Actually, in Deloitte, which is one of the big 4 so-called firms of consultancy services worldwide. The first year I actually went into audit, which was an excellent complement, because let's face it, when we come out of an engineering degree, usually our knowledge of finances or on accounting or on the economic side of companies is relatively limited, no? And this was a very, very good complement to see how this works, what procedures are behind this, and what is the utility, no, on managing all of the finances. So the first year at Deloitte, I was an auditor for Repsol, which is one of the biggest oil and gas companies of Spain, and that was great to learn more about the economic side of big corporations. And then I passed to be a consultant in the energy sector, which has kind of always been the place where I've always believed I would be happy professionally, in general. And as a consultant there, I worked mainly in the electric sector, in the distribution and transport part, and also in greenhouse gas emission evaluation. So all of this of life cycle analysis and computing how much is actually being emitted in processes. I was really happy there. That's a great opportunity to learn fast and also travel. But to be honest, I was kind of missing a bit more the technical touch. And there was a moment where I fell in love with nuclear, basically, by all of the broad fields that the nuclear sector covers, and its importance for society. So there I packed my luggage, went to an experience that I remember with a very good memory in London, to a master's in nuclear engineering, and I specialized in nuclear. Then I had the opportunity to stay in the university for another half a year as a research and teaching assistant, which was really nice to also see the functioning of the academic world. And then is where I landed back home in Spain in Tecnatom. And in Tecnatom, inside the company, it's been already addressed by Rafa and my colleagues, but indeed, I'm also grateful for several opportunities of different and very enriching projects that I have had the chance to be involved up until now. I would highlight that definitely the training part that is delivered from the company is one of the key assets, not only to the customers but also to the people that are working in Tecnatom. So initial training on specific nuclear power plant systems, including simulator training, was really nice. Very, very enriching, and I have great memories also from those periods and the colleagues that we did it together. And that led me, or gave me the opportunity to do projects on not only training delivery, but also training design that reaches from designing and allocating training for particular customers, also but to the extent also of advising entities such as regulators also on their training programs. From the training side, I also had the opportunity to be involved in projects on the rad waste field, particularly NORM, naturally occurring radioactive material, both in Spain and abroad, and this was also very enriching to be involved in technical aspects, and even in supporting facilities for regulatory inspection. That adds up a lot to the experiences, that one goes building up in time. Also in parallel, several technical cooperations with the International Atomic Energy Agency. This also offered, you've seen it before with my colleagues, we tend to be a fan of traveling in Tecnatom, and that gave me the opportunity to work in countries such as the United Arab Emirates, China, Jordan. So that's been a great opportunity. And currently, right now, I am seconded in the European Nuclear Education Network, as Emilia was mentioning before, as a project manager and finance coordinator. So I'm back again, also being involved more in the financial side, but we're also managing projects in the nuclear domain, from SMRs to new techniques of training, or the area of research reactors. So I'm very grateful for that opportunity, and of course also to the ENEN for the interesting projects that we're conducting from here. And to finish, as a highlight to Tecnatom, I would also, apart from the training side, highlight the flexibility that was mentioned. Tecnatom was having teleworking schemes before the pandemic, so it was already quite advanced in this area. They are flexible the company is very flexible in the broad range of projects that they have and that they can give the employees the opportunity to participate in. And particularly in my side, I have to also mention the other activities I like to do in nuclear, which is related to the young generation network in Spain called Jóvenes Nucleares, in which Tecnatom has always been very flexible, allowing us to do our activities for the young generation and giving, trusting you the responsibility that your professional tasks and duties will be accomplished, and that you can combine those with other activities in the young generation. I'm very grateful for that. And to mention, for example, the Congress that we're organizing for September in Tarragona, the European Nuclear Young Generation Forum, which obviously we invite everyone to come and share their work and also see that of other colleagues. Both Tecnatom and ENEN also have been very flexible in fostering these extra tasks that we volunteer for and accommodating it into the duties we have as professionals. So for that, I'm grateful for both entities. And to end with Tecnatom, I would highlight personally flexibility in the projects you can do and in your other personal interests, and the training. That is definitely something that is very, very powerful. With that, I'm happy if there's any questions to discuss further.
Okay, thank you very much, Paco. Now I would like to ask all the panelists to show your camera so we can have a short discussion with the incoming questions. I believe you saw them also in our Q&A session. So there are two questions actually related to the language. The question from Dovara and question from Martin. Is it really important to speak Spanish? What are the options for the international students who do not speak Spanish? Rafa, maybe I will allow you to answer this.
Yes, it's not crucial. It's not necessary. Even past year we have. During some years before, we have some students from France, from Emirates. Antonio, I think you meet with some of them that didn't speak in Spanish, so it's not necessary. Okay.
Yeah, in fact, if there's a meeting or something, we need to do it in English so everybody understands. No problem there.
Okay. I have a question from Juan Franco Canepa on his profile, and he's asking on the internship opportunities. But maybe Juan, I will ask you now to put the question orally. Let's test it.
Yes, sure. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Yes.
So hi, I'm Juan Franco. I'm Argentinian, so I can speak. I'm a nuclear engineer from Argentina, and I'm now doing a Master of Science in nuclear energy in KTH. It's a double degree. So the next year I'm going to Centrale Supélec in France. And I was wondering, because as part of the master program, we have like a 6-month master thesis in which it's done in the industry. And of course, I would like to do it in a company where I will have the opportunity to be offered a full-time job. I was wondering if Tecnatom has the experience in offering internships for master thesis degrees.
Yes, it's possible, Juan. We usually do the international internship with an organization called IASTE. Yes. You know IASTE? Juan?
Yeah, I mean, I heard about it.
Yes. So if you want, in the next slide, I'm going to put my email direction and the job site. You can write me in my email direction, and we can continue speaking about it. It's possible. Okay.
Okay, thank you. Great.
Fantastic. This is the the great outcome of the webinar. Okay, Edgaras, would you like to speak and put a lot of you had a lot of questions.
Yes.
Edgaras, you're muted.
I can answer some questions of Garas, and maybe the last one, the 5 questions, maybe Antonio, Paco, Irene can answer. The first one, the language requirement is not necessary to speak Spanish, so if you speak English, the major part of our people speak in English, so it's necessary. People 3 or 5 top software using the company, it depends on the part of the company. Maybe Antonio, Paco, and Irene can speak about of the software that using their direction, business direction, but I am sure that will be more. But if you want, Paco, Irene, Antonio, Paco, Irene, speak about the software that you use in your business area.
Yes, I can. So in my area, which is the training material development, as I mentioned, we are working with advanced new technologies. So one of them is our own platform. So we in Tecnatom developed and are currently using a platform called Plant that is used to, that is the one that we use to create the materials. So it's ours.
Okay. Maybe this is a question to be maybe in person in an interview we could speak about it. It's like the third question about the number of employees like leaving the company every year. We have a very low, a low rate of people leaving the company, more or less the 3%. Okay. And you mentioned the possibility to work remotely. Yes, to work in another country. We can speak about it. We have people working from other countries, but it's something that needs to be talked. Okay. And the last question, I don't know if.
Yeah, I can answer.
Yes?
The last question. Yeah, actually, we are starting with the SMR simulators, so we are not developed yet a new simulator. We are designing, and for XN and energy in this case, and it depends if we arrive to get in this project, maybe I will develop it, because our company, there are lots of simulators for different control rooms of nuclear plants, so it's a possibility.
Yeah, if I may add to the answer of my colleague Irene, that's an interesting question in adapting the simulator for SMR questions. Well, actually, regarding your second question on the software, there are codes that have been developed by Tecnatom, both in thermohydraulics and neutronics. Usually they came based on the other more known codes, but then Tecnatom acquires kind of a part of it or the license and does in-house development for those. Because obviously for the training, what is one of the key outcomes is that it has to work pretty well real time. And it's not as interesting to get the last decimal and it's going to take all afternoon to simulate. But what you ultimately want for training simulators is that you can have something decent, but that can calculate in real time. No, in the adaptation to SMRs, it's interesting that because at the early days, my colleagues can correct me, there was only one simulator room in which several plants were trained, but it was just the one room. Now for Spain, each power plant has its own exact replica of the control room. And so for the SMR trainings, a new trend that comes, one thing I can mention particular to SMRs is that in the generic simulators of the IEA, the SMR1 was won by Tecnatom and they developed it. And that's a simplified model of an SMR simulator. But going more into the professional ones, a new trend comes in, which is the digital training rooms. So control room, sorry. So now if you see the suite of simulators that Tecnatom has, you would see, you know, kind of big and really cool, I have to say, control rooms that are exactly replicas. But the evolution that one can see looking at the more advanced reactors is that it's switching more into digital control rooms, sometimes multi-unit, depends on the design. No, so always be the two changes. Yes, you can adapt the model fairly easily to the new plant, but the control room might look radically different than the ones that that were of generation 2.
Okay, Rafa, could you maybe stop sharing the screen so we can have a better view? Thank you. So now is the question from Javier Olivares to Antonio. Antonio, would you like to answer the question live on the specific formation nuclear physics? Thank you.
Yes. So Javier is asking about the training that Tecnatom provides. So the specific trainings, the training that Tecnatom provides is to get the certification for operation instructor, and this is a certification that is required by the regulatory bodies. So it's not academic certification that you get, but you got the qualification that you need for the job. All right, and when you are doing this training in Tecnatom, it's your duty, it's your own duty. Of course, we are a very flexible company, and if there is some gaps or there is some in the meantime for doing the training that the trainee can support another task, we can do it. But when we are giving the training, when we are getting the certification training, it's the main focus, the only focus, and we are paid. I mean, it's something that Tecnatom pays for your training. I don't know if I answered the question.
Then Javier will be able to answer you maybe in a Q&A. But then I will move to a question which is from Afef. Where do you put usually your open positions? And this is also a similar question from Krzysztof. So is this LinkedIn or your website, or what are the current positions that you're really seeking for the professionals or young generation entries?
This is a very good question. We usually put all the open position in LinkedIn. Also in our website, but I think it's better to enter in LinkedIn. Okay.
Great. This is also another hint from HR director to create a LinkedIn profile if you didn't do so yet.
Yes.
Even for the bachelor students, when you start just looking for the job and you wanted to define what will be your next step in the study and training and the further development, I think it's very useful to be part of the LinkedIn. We on our ENS site, we have also a closed ENS career group. So I would like to also invite you to enter this group. Then we post also job opportunities from our corporate members there, so you can have directly the information. Okay, then I have a question from another question from Javier, but maybe first let us go to Antonella. I like very much the question. So it is, she's asking, do you think there's enough youth engagement in the nuclear sector? What could be done to improve in this regard? Javier, Paco, sorry, you mentioned at the beginning the education, not the education, but the young generation network. I think this is one of the answer to this question, but maybe all of you have another hints how to engage young people to nuclear sector. What could be the trigger for them? Maybe Paco first, and then Irene.
Great, thank you very much, Antonella, for the question. So in engagement, I understand it is engagement of youth in general that can be attracted to the nuclear sector, yeah? This is a hot topic. The long-term, let's say, income of new professionals to grasp all the knowledge of our seniors that will retire. This is also the mission of ENEN, by the way, to try to assure the knowledge in nuclear fields in Europe through education and training. And so to engaging the more young or youth to see nuclear as an interesting option, I would see two key things. One is clearly identifying what today's youth is interested in, and definitely the other is to deliver very clearly that nuclear has a future, and that there are a lot of things that the career of a young person that wishes to study or to engage in nuclear can do. It would be a myth to think that in general one can only work in decommissioning, because you read two headlines that in the news that seems that, you know, a country or another particular area seems to disregard nuclear. That is not the case. The degree of internationalization of the industry is very, very high. Rafa mentioned before all the countries, for example, that Tecnatom has presence in, and we're doing from Tecnatom things in all around the world. And that doesn't mean that you have to be in a country that has a very ambitious or a very big nuclear program to do work in many nuclear fields. So it is true that there is certain concern in numbers, for example, of nuclear masters, that some are coming offline, and that the sector would like to not face a situation in the future where there is scarcity of professionals. And I believe to tackle that, there are several initiatives such as ENEN Plus that can bring closer the reality of the opportunities that the nuclear sector has to the youth. Every effort is welcome. There are things being done, but obviously we have to still keep on pushing to transmit in a clear way, and in a way that is also attractive for what the new generations are looking for, on how they can develop a full career that will be very enriching and very interesting within nuclear. In that regard, I think also social media, and we know this from Jóvenes Nucleares, is giving a great opportunity, because it allows people from within the sector to actually tell their story and share their experiences to the young generations that might be thinking where they would like to direct their professional development. No?
Yeah, well, in addition that Paco has said, because he has said lots of things and has his thoughts several files, no? I just added that that is true that nowadays we are listening about the commissioning of nuclear power plants in general in the world, in the agenda of 2030 and 2050. And actually, well, just remember that there are lots of files to work in the nuclear sector. It's not nuclear plants, the only one. There are lots of medical applications, and for everyday life, there are lots of applications here as alimentary. And actually, well, as he said, we are engaging people, young generations to join nuclear young generations as Jóvenes Nucleares, and we explain there how they can engage their careers in the future. And actually, well, we have speak about SMR reactors. There are new nuclear file too, related to small modular and different or several kinds of energy related to nuclear. And it's always good to have new people to engage in this field.
Okay, thank you very much. There's a short question still from Antonella on the of the requirement regarding the traveling, if it's essential to travel, availability to travel for a successful career in the nuclear sector. Rafa, you have to mute, sorry.
Okay. I was looking for the button. It's not mandatory, but it's sometimes it's necessary. So to be flexible and to travels, to trips, it's necessary in some cases. There are positions and projects that are not necessary, but the major part of the project is necessary to do at least short trips. Okay.
Okay, this is very clear answer. Okay, now I have a question from Carlos. Is there interest at Tecnatom for data scientists, machine learning or modeling profiles?
Yes, indeed. In this moment, we are recruiting some five profiles, five engineers with this profile: data science, machine learning. We have creating a data lab, laboratory of data in Tecnatom with at least 7 to 8 persons for the moment. So it's interesting for us. Fine.
Okay, Javier is raising his hand. I will ask him to unmute. Javier, you were very active and putting questions. Can you put your question now, please?
Hello?
Facilities, yes?
Well, it's what I've written is just that my profile is slightly more experimental since I studied physics. So I've heard a lot about modeling and simulations, which are essential, of course, in the nuclear field. But I would like to know if Tecnatom has its own facilities regarding accelerators or I don't know, other experimental machines. And if it is a skill that you want a professional of Tecnatom to have, or it's not what you're focusing, or whatever.
Irene, if you want to answer something?
I try to answer. I try to answer. Well, the facilities that Tecnatom have is, like Paco has said, we have simulators. They are replicas as the nuclear control room reactors. But as you have said about new developments, we are working in ITER. We are not our own plants, but we are working in several European and in general different projects, international projects, I mean. And well, the part of simulation is very developing part. It's very challenging. We are working every day to get our best, and well, you can try to join us maybe and start with simulators inside Spain, and then you can try to get some international projects as ITER, for example. It's maybe more challenging for you in this case. I don't know.
I may add also.
Oh. No, please go on.
Sorry, Javier. No, to add onto the response of my colleague Irene, if you're very centered on, let's say, experimental hands-on things, then we can go visit, let's say, the one of the other key areas of Tecnatom, which is inspection. Okay, so in inspection, as I guess you all know, when there's a shutdown in a nuclear plant to refuel, those days, weeks, more or less a month, are used to do inspection of a lot of the systems and components. And Tecnatom has well, we have actually buildings where this equipment is stored, but not only stored, but also developed. So there is experimentation work on all of the domain of non-destructive testing and all of the techniques that are used to go then in the field, in plants, to experiment, that are also being developed in-house, and there is definitely experimentation work there. I'm not sure if this is kind of the experimentation type of work you're asking, but I can add that also to Irene's response that there are teams working heavily on how can we make this inspection machine better, and that has to be hands-on. So there are labs. Actually, they're in Madrid, the other side of the road. There's a big building, and they have all of the robots there, and they develop them there.
Thank you very much. And I would like to please ask Irene a few brief resume about how is Tecnatom involved in ITER project.
Okay, before, just to let you know that we are already a bit passing our time. So now it's Irene's time to answer this question, and then we will have a last question coming from Luis Felipe Duran, and then we accomplish our webinar. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, as you know, there are lots of Spanish and international companies that they are involved in different parts of the ITER development. And of course, Tecnatom is one of the first one of they are working in. And I can give you more details. If you can, we can contact us and we can explain a little bit, but we are in the part of developing control rooms, and I think is the file that you want to know, and that's all. I don't know.
Only to help Irene in ITER, we work different projects, but overall in inspection of materials and different parts of ITER. Okay, so if you want, you can write us. Emilia, give me only 1 minute to put my email if someone want to send me any question. Okay, but
fantastic.
The last question if you want, and then I put my email. Okay.
Yeah, fantastic. You can maybe start to put it in the Q&A already, but then the last question is coming from Luis Felipe. He's doing currently PhD on LWR, core simulation and safety analysis. Do you have any department there in Tecnatom working on safety analysis or core simulations? Thank you. Who would like to answer this question?
This is very specific question. We have a big direction of simulation where Irene is working, so it can be very interesting for us this profile. So I encourage to this person to send me the CV and continue speaking about it. Okay, because maybe I need one person of the responsibility of this department to explain him this specific. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much, all of you. Rafael, would you like to type your email address? I'm not...
Yes, but it's not possible for me. You have to allow me to share my screen.
I can type it. R.
Yes.
Cubero. Tecnatom.
.es.
Tecnatom what?
.es.
Yes, okay. I think this is the right one.
Perfect. Yes,
okay.
perfect.
So I would like to invite all of you, if you have interest in working in Tecnatom, to send maybe a CV to some specific questions to Rafa, HR director. But first, maybe have a look at the Tecnatom website, Tecnatom LinkedIn group, and also ENS closed career group. Thank you all of you for this webinar today. This was a 10th webinar organized in the framework of the ENEN project, which is the mentorship program for the young professionals, for bachelor and master students, to attract them to nuclear sector and to explain them what are their job opportunities after their study and also during the study, as we heard. Thank you very much to all of you. It was really, I think, inspiring for many young professionals listening to you, and it gives another opportunities, another hope for other parts of their life and career. Thank you very much. See you on 29th of April, because then we will have a HR professional from Venezuela. So another country, but also very attractive place to work for. And please check on our website, euronuclear.org, all the events, on the upcoming events. Thank you very much. Stay safe, guys.
Thanks.
Thank you.